Hi, people. I am Chester Boateng. I am a professional teacher and also a social worker. I am also a youth coach. Many often I speak about or I talk about issues concerning students and young people. And today, I want us to discuss an important issue as parents and also as learners. I want us to talk about the new curriculum for the senior high school learners or students as we used to call them. I want to find out how familiar are we with the curriculum as parents or guardians. So let's say just one parent or guardians, how familiar are you with the program study, or as we now call it, learning areas of your wards? Do you know the program your ward is offering at the high school? Are you also aware or are you familiar with the subject combinations of the learning areas or the study program of your ward? Have you found out from them what subjects are they learning? Just last week, Thursday, a guardian called me and he was quite surprised that his ward, the sister, is doing general science but does not have integrated science as one of her core subjects. And also, as science student, she's been offered uh, economics as one of her electives. So he was wondering as to why the ward or the sister is having such subject combinations, and I took time to explain things to him, and I must commend him for trying to follow up or find out what is happening. I mean, when he discovers something unusual about a sister's program of study and subject combinations, and I entreat every parent or guardian to, follow suit or to go that way. We should make our war's education be our number one priority. So it is very important that we look at the new curriculum, not necessarily the new curriculum, the learning areas of the new curriculum for senior high school, and also the subject combination, because it is unusual from what we used to know for the old curriculum. So when you look at the new curriculum, the structure for the learning areas, so we have the core subjects, which is usually or mainly the same as the old one that we have, just that ICT has been added to the subjects that are not examinable, in some cases. So we have the normal English language, we have the mathematics, we have the integrated science, then we have the social studies. Then, as I said, we have ICT core, which in some cases may not be examinable. Then we also have the electives, and the electives, as we all know, are based on the subject. They are based on the subject or the program the ward or the learner is offering. So we have 5 learning areas. So we first have the learning area 1, which is the general science. Then we have the learning area 2, which is the general arts. 3, business. 4, home econs. Then 5, languages. So I think what is new to us, we know the first 4, which are the general science, general arts, business, home econs. And what is not common to us is the languages. So languages has been added. Usually the languages used to be part of the arts. Now we have language department, arts department, business department, and the science department, the home econs department. So when you come to my school, so basically these are the learning areas that we have in my school. So when you look at a subject combination, so these are the learning areas that you could get, especially when you come to my school. So when it comes to the subject combination, so we've mentioned of the core subject. So we've mentioned of the core subject. So we also have the electives for the various learning areas. So we have the electives for the various learning areas. So for instance, we know for science, basically we have 4 previously and we still have them. So we have the physics, the chemistry, biology, and the elective maths. I know in some schools it may differ. Some schools used to do geography, as one of their electives for science. Then we have general arts, which there are so many of them. The arts elective subjects are so many. So we have government, geography, economics, CRS, French, literature, and there are so many of them, and so on. So history, and so on. Then business, accounting, business management, costing, economics, and so on. Then home econs, we know food and nutrition, management in living, Texas, biology. Some also do clothing, and there are so many. Then the languages we know, so we have the French, and we also have literature and the languages. Then the various Ghanaian languages being taught in our various schools. So these are basically the electives based on the program study. So it is very important that we look at the rationale for this subject combination. It is very important that we look at the rationale for this subject combination. So one of the rationale, the reasons for this subject combination is to provide flexibility and career pathways for students. So to promote flexibility and career pathways for students. So flexibility of it, and also the student will be, or the learners will be able to have a clear pathways for their career. And you are allowed, I'll come there when it comes to the subject combination, you are allowed to pick certain electives from other departments. So let's say you are in a science department, which usually your elective subjects should be physics, chemistry, biology, and elective math, but you are allowed to pick another elective, one elective from another department. So you could be in a science department and still choose economics, which traditionally is not an elective subject for science students. You could be allowed to choose, and that could change or could make or could affect or could change your career path. And when you want to change a career path from science related careers or programs at the university, because of the economics you pick from the another department, you could divert to non-science related programs at the university and also career. Then 2, it helps to prepare students for specialized university programs. 3, to ensure the 21st century skills, which we know some of them to be problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, and communication. So these are some of the rationale for the subject combination that we have. So when it comes to my school, we have 5 learning areas. As I said earlier, right? We have science, home econs, business, general arts. Then we have the languages. So like as I said, let's take the learning areas one after the other. So for instance, we have learning area 1, which we have the science. Learning area 1, we have the science, and we have the core subjects, English, mathematics, and social studies. But one thing about this curriculum is that because those offering science, they are doing biology, physics, and chemistry, all of them, you wouldn't do, or they are not allowed to do science, which formerly we used to call it integrated science. Now they call it general science. You are not allowed to do general science, or they are not doing or offering general science for the science student, because it is assumed that they've done enough when it comes to science, because they are doing biology, chemistry, and also physics. So they are not doing general science, or what we used to refer to as integrated science. So when it comes to my school, so aside the 3 core electives, they are having 5. So because they are not doing core science or integrated science or general science, you have to add 1 elective subject to the usual 4 electives or 5 electives for all the programs or learning areas. So basically, students are supposed to choose 9. So 4 core subjects, 4 electives, then you pick 1 elective from another department. 1 elective from another department, which along the way, from second year, you are allowed to drop it. But the good news is that since we are using something called a transcript system, which WAEC has provided for, together with the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service, has provided for learners and teachers, especially Form 1 teachers are familiar with it. The subject or the elective you pick from another department will appear on your transcript. Though you drop it along the way, it will still be on your transcript as something or as a subject you study when you were in school. Though you may not write final exams on it, but it will still be on your transcript, and you use your transcript together with your certificate for admissions into the various tertiary institutions. So the